Well, I've got a warning for you today, my people. If you have an addictive personality, you probably want to stay far away from this video because I've got 10 fragrances that have that sort of addictive quality. You're going to want to go back to them again and again. I've got 5 clone fragrances. I've got 5 designers, and here's the catch. Each one of these fragrances is under 50 bucks. So we're talking about cheapies that are also just addictively wonderful. I'm going to come out with another video, maybe before this one, maybe after, that's going to be higher end addictive scents, but these are the ones you can get for less than 50 bucks. We're going to get into this list, but before we do, remember to subscribe and also take a fiendish, addictive look at the like button and go ahead and give some clicks like you just can't get enough or something like that. And let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these and what do you think about them. Okay, first up, we'll go with this one. This one's a fairly new release. I think it's been out for maybe 3 to 6 months, something like that. But it's a dupe of one of the Stronger With You fragrances, which in and of themselves, they're sort of addictive, they're sweet, they're very mass-pleasing. This one definitely leans more niche. It's a clone of Stronger With You Oud, and it is Pandora Sense Veteran Oud. And the thing about Stronger With You Oud is this is not a challenging oud fragrance. This fragrance is actually very similar to Stronger With You Leather. I would say like 80% similar or something like that. So it is the Stronger With You DNA, that rich, warm, ambery, vanillic, somewhat spiced chestnut DNA. And then you add a prominent leather note, and that's obviously what gives it the similarity to Stronger With You Leather. And then you just add maybe like 20% of a very kind of palatable, mass-pleasing oud. But that leather, which is somewhat animalic or naturalistic with that oud together, does make this, I would say, a more challenging Stronger With You DNA, but in general, not a challenging fragrance. It actually smells really good. Again, Veteran Oud from Pandora Sense. Really good stuff if you want to kind of step up your Stronger With You experience. All right, this next one. This one I was super excited about because somehow I don't think I ever smelled Boss Bottled Intense. By the time I wanted to buy a bottle, the prices had gone way up, and so I just kind of put it on the shelf. And then this came out from Fragrance World, Nazai Silver. And so this is a dupe for Boss Bottled Intense. The original Boss Bottled, I think, smells phenomenal. At this point, it's there's a lot of different brands that have done their take or even their clones of that fragrance. Boss Bottled Intense, however, though, is one that, there's not a whole lot of options out there. What you're going to get with this one is an absolutely gorgeous, fuzzy, diffusive kind of a texture with this sweet, spicy apple and cinnamon and very spicy, gourmand kind of apple pie feeling fragrance. Really good stuff, and you're going to want to go back to again and again. All right, this next one is, I would say, a more niche leaning profile, as in one that not necessarily everybody is going to love. But if you like spicy fragrances, if you like strong fragrances, and if you want to try something that's just a little bit different than probably a lot of things in your collection, unless you already have a huge collection, this stuff right here from Fragrance World, Intro Aftermath, this is an alternative to Initio Side Effect, and this is an absolutely phenomenal, spicy, boozy fragrance. You've got some rum, you've got vanilla, you've got cinnamon, you've got some saffron and some woods, you've got even a touch of a cumin note, although it's not dominant in this one. In some of the clones, it is dominant, and I actually got rid of one of the ones that I had because I just couldn't handle that. This one is done in a very palatable way, and I think a way that's really going to appeal to people who like spicy fragrances. That rum, cinnamon, vanilla are kind of the standout, and then that saffron and woods in the base is going to remind you a little bit of if you've smelled Initio's Oud for Greatness or one of the clones, there's a little touch of that, maybe 20% of that in the base. This is, again, one of those that there was a season last winter when this first came out where I had to force myself to wear other things because it is just that good. Again, this is Intro Aftermath. It's from Fragrance World, and powerful, powerful 12 to 14 hour performance on this stuff. It is incredible. All right, now I have a couple from Zara. I did a video about several Zara fragrances, and these are so very good. This one right here, this is Zara Night Pour Homme 3. And what it really is, it's sort of a twist between Dior Homme Parfum for about the first hour, and then Prada L'Homme in the dry down. So you start out with this gorgeous pear, iris, specifically on the bottle you've got the notes bergamot, pear, iris, leather, cedarwood, amber. And so those are notes that are going to lead you to believe this is kind of a Dior Homme Parfum or Dior Homme intense smelling fragrance. And it is for about the first hour. But somehow in the magic of fragrance chemistry, it shifts from that sweet, lipsticky, waxy iris very clearly for the first hour or so. And then it shifts more to that kind of fresh, clean, somewhat soapy, but not overly soapy. I don't like overly soapy fragrances, but that Prada L'Homme DNA with a touch more sweetness, I would say, than Prada L'Homme, that's how it dries down, and that's how it remains for about the next 7 hours or so. So again, this stuff right here, if you like iris fragrances, this one's going to give you a very appealing mix of those two juggernauts in the realm of iris. Another one from Zara that's also a dupe of an iris fragrance, and this one's not what you think. This is For Him Intense, and you know, Homme Intense basically means For Him Intense from Dior, but this is not a Dior Homme Intense clone, even though the bottle kind of looks like Dior Homme Intense. This fragrance smells very, very similar to this beautiful iris masterpiece here, Givenchy Gentleman EDP. That really is what it smells like. There are some, you know, nuances of Dior Homme Intense maybe in the first hour or so, but mostly you're going to get something that smells like Gentleman EDP, beautiful, vanilla, spicy iris. Not as strong of an iris note as the Dior fragrance, the Givenchy doesn't have, but this one matches Gentleman's profile very closely, and it's really, really good stuff. I love Gentleman EDP, and so I really love this one as well. All right, so that was 5 clones. Now we're going to go with 5 original fragrances. This one is a cheapie gem that I still see at the rack stores, and I remember, I don't know, several years back, a bunch of people were talking about this one. I couldn't find it for a long time. Finally picked it up and loved it. I'm talking about Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Extreme. And this is a starfruit, fruity fragrance. That's what you get in the opening, kind of starfruit and a little bit of kind of a soft, watery melon. And then as it dries down, you get some black pepper, Sichuan pepper, you get some cardamom, you get this warm, spicy dry down that blends with that fruitiness in the opening. It's really, really good stuff. I actually got one of the Boss Bottled the Scent fragrances a few days ago, and it reminded me of this one, and I dug it back out, and I've been wearing it since. Again, First Instinct Extreme. If you want a good mix of fruity and spicy, this is, I guess you could say, one of the few off the top of my head. I don't know of a ton of fragrances that have that profile, but it's really good and one you're probably going to come back to again and again. Another addictive fragrance from a designer brand, Paco Rabanne. This one right here, Ultra Red Man. This stuff is incredible. It's powerful. It's a vanilla and praline and orange fragrance. There's also some other notes. I think there's some woods. There might even be some leather, but it's mostly just very sweet, vanilla and praline and orange. That's really all that you need to know. Now, if you don't like sweet fragrances, run from this one because it's powerfully sweet. It's easily an 8 to 10 hour fragrance. And if you do like sweet fragrances, you're going to wear this one again and again. You can see, I mean, I've had this one probably about a year and I've already used quite a bit of it because I really, really like it. And this one now you can get for under $50, even though once upon a time it was a very expensive discontinued fragrance, no longer. All right, next, this one I absolutely love, and this is one I hardly ever hear anyone talk about, and it is so very good. I'm telling you, this crazy Pepe Jeans mixer bottle here, this is Pepe Jeans Celebrate, and it is a gourmand spicy fragrance. You've got some blackcurrant and some cacao, so sort of like, you know, a tart, almost berry kind of fruitiness, mixing with a cacao that reminds me of more like white chocolate or cocoa butter or something like that. And then you go down into some pepper and some cinnamon and some cardamom. So it is, again, a maybe there's a theme here. I like fruity, spicy fragrances, and maybe I have a problem. I'm addicted to those. So, but this one you get that chocolatey fruitiness mixing with some warm spiciness. It's very different from any of the others I've shown you in the video, even though it sounds like it's similar to some of them. Again, Pepe Jeans Celebrate. This stuff is incredible, and you can often get it for like less than $30, which is crazy. Great performance as well. When I first got this one, I thought it was like a 6-hour fragrance. I've had it for a couple years now, and it's easily an 8+ hour fragrance on me. Next up, this one again. A lot of these fragrances have been in numerous videos of mine because I love them, and this one I absolutely love. I'm talking about Dunhill Icon, the original. If you don't have this one and you're looking to pick up a very versatile, unique, beautiful fragrance, check this one out. It's got this neroli and pepper in the opening that somehow, those are the notes that they give you, but somehow in the opening what you end up with is something that is often described as like almost like a fizzy grape soda kind of a feel. But then as you go down into the dry down, you've got some woods, you've got some leather, you've got kind of some drier, darker notes. And so again, a fruity, spicy kind of fragrance, but it's so very good. Some say it's like Terre d'Hermès. It's really not. It's not earthy like Terre d'Hermès in the way that's unappealing to some people. I think it's definitely got more going on than Terre d'Hermès. It's just pretty unique. It's an awesome fragrance, and I highly, highly recommend this one. And another one you can get for usually in the 30s, which is crazy because it's very good quality and an awesome fragrance. The third one in the video from Zara, nobody really watched that video, so I'm putting these in here again because they're just so good. This one is an original from Zara. It's called Spell Caramel, and this is a spicy caramel vanilla fragrance. You've got in this one some pepper, you've got some, I think, ginger, you've got some licorice. So you've got a good bit of spiciness in the opening and in the mid, but then you've got this caramel and this vanilla, this very kind of warm sweetness. The only other thing I have that smells similar to this is a dupe of Bond No. 9 New York Nights, but it's a similar kind of rich, sweet, gourmand like that fragrance. Again, Zara Spell Caramel. I wish it actually remained spicy throughout the wearing, but on my skin, it's spicy in the opening and then just becomes a very pleasant gourmand fragrance for about the next, 7+ hours. So that has been 10 addictive fragrances, 5 clones, 5 originals, all under $50. Keep an eye out for the higher end addictive fragrance video if it hasn't come out yet. Remember to take a fiendish look at the like button and consider giving it a click, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm Justin. This is COLOGNE Sense.